Hi friends, welcome to our series on financial planning. Today I'm going to take on an interesting area which many of you have commented on our videos and have asked us to discuss about this. Should you rent or buy a property? That's an important question which many people would face when you start earning. You will be getting steady stream of earnings, and at that point of time you will have a question whether should you continue renting a property or should you go on a buying mode. So that's a question we thought we'll address. There is a financial model which I have developed to answer this, but not considering the financial model as of now. First, let me discuss what are the key factors which influences a property purchase decision. There are, I think, 6 critical factors according to me. So I'll discuss about these 6 factors, and then I show a mathematical model, an Excel model which has been created. We punch in certain numbers and then we decide whether renting or buying. And also there is an emotional angle. I'll talk about the emotional angle as we proceed. Now, what are the factors which influence whether you should rent a property or buy a property? The first factor is funding mix of purchase. Now, what is the funding mix of purchase? What quantum of your property purchase will be funded by debt? Debt is basically a home loan because it has a cheaper cost. And what percentage of it will come from your own money? So whatever money is available, what proportion of it is going to come from your own money, and what percentage is going to come from a bank loan? In fact, if you look at housing loan, the interest rates have been continuously coming down, and a lot of people are going towards purchase a property because of declining interest rate scenario. So I'll look at the funding mix of purchase, basically the debt equity mix. The second factor is what is going to be the cost of these two sources. Home loan at this point of time is available at around 7%. Some loans are even available at 6.6%, 6.8. So effectively around 7% is what you pay. There is a tax angle attached to it, which I'll discuss in the third factor. There's a tax angle attached to this. So cost of home loan is the first factor. And the second factor which I'm going to see is what is the cost of my own contribution. I am going to fund, let's assume I'm buying a property worth 5 crores. Or let's assume I'm buying a property worth 1 crore. In that 1 crore, home loan is going to be 60 lakhs. 40 lakhs is my contribution. Now there is a cost attached to my contribution. People should understand that there is a cost attached for even your own contribution. What is that cost called? What would you do with that money? What were you planning to do with that money? Because that money would get invested somewhere and you will earn a return. For example, that 40 lakh could be lying in savings account. Then the cost of my contribution is around 2-3%. Around 3% is the savings bank interest rate. Somebody may have put that in a bank fixed deposit. Then the cost of own contribution is around 5%. Somebody may have put that money in a mutual fund, which does involve a risk, but maybe you were earning some 8-9% or 10% type. You could have put that money in equities. You could have lent it to someone. Where was that money lying and what returns were you getting from that? That's called as cost of own contribution. There is a cost attached to your own contribution as well. The third factor which I was talking about, the effective tax rate, be it cost of home loan or be it cost of own contribution, in both the factors, you will have to take the after tax rates. What is after tax rate? If you are taking a loan at 7%, you will get some tax benefit as per Income Tax Act on the interest payment, and your effective payout could be 5%, could be 6%. It depends on what is the effective tax rate you have. So somebody could be in a 20% slab, somebody could be in a 30% slab, somebody could be in a 10% slab. Based on that, we will calculate what is the effective tax rate of that individual. Effective tax rate of the individual, and then we go ahead and calculate the cost of home loan. If you are in a 30% slab, if you take a loan at 7%, the effective interest cost is only 7 into 1 minus tax rate. It will become 7 into 70%. 4.9 percentage is the cost of home loan. The cost of home loan is not 7 percentage. It's only 4.9, provided you are able to get the tax benefit for the entire amount. There are certain limitations in the Income Tax Act as far as your tax deduction is concerned. So you do factor that in and then get to know what is the effective cost of home loan. Similarly, effective cost of own contribution, whatever income you were earning, on that also some tax was to be paid. It's not that I'm earning 4 percentage or 5 percentage from fixed deposit, that's my net earning. My cost is not 5 percentage. If I was earning 5%, I had to pay taxes. So I'll consider the effective tax rate. After considering the effective tax rate, you will get the effective cost of home loan and cost of own contribution. Apart from this, there are 3 more factors which I need to take into consideration, which is related to the property. One is maintenance cost. What percentage, not the routine maintenance which you pay on building, because the routine maintenance would be paid whether you rent a property or you buy a property, not the routine maintenance. Some issue could happen with, if you're owning a property and there is some issue with the property, you will have to spend something, or some property taxes have to be paid. So the routine expenses which you pay as normal maintenance, that's not considered here. But all other expenses which are incurred when you own a property, you may have to do some minor repairs may have to be carried out. So all those expenses will come under the maintenance cost. It could be 0.1% of the property or 0.2% of the property. We'll discuss about it when I go through the model. Then I also need to see whether the property is likely to appreciate or depreciate. What percentage of appreciation or depreciation of the property I am looking at. This is one major factor which can influence the decision. If you believe property prices are likely to appreciate a lot, buying may make more sense. If it's not going to appreciate a lot, maybe renting will make a lot of sense. So expected appreciation or depreciation of property is also one factor. And the last factor is what rent you are paying for the property. What is the rental cost, effective rental cost of the property? So I will consider all these 6 facts. First is funding mix, which is what money will come from debt, what money will come from equity. Second is what is the cost of home loan and cost of own contribution, whatever funding mix we talked about. Third, I'm going to look at the effective tax rate, because that is going to pull down my cost of home loan and cost of own contribution. How much am I going to incur on the maintenance side, any appreciation or depreciation of property, and what is the effective rental cost. Now I want to put this in a model. I'll share this Excel sheet as well. Let's assume the cost of the house is 1 crore. You can take any number you wish to. I've taken 1 crore as the cost of the house. Cost of interiors, I have taken 20% of cost of house. Interiors has been taken as 20%. So my total cost of the house is 1 crore 20 lakh. 1 crore 20 lakh. In that, the yellow shaded portions are those which will change in this Excel. I have assumed that I can get a loan of 75% of the cost of the house. I'll not get a loan for interior, so I have assumed that I'll get a loan for 75%. You can take 70, 80, 60, whatever is your plan. So loan for purchase will be 75 lakh rupees. Own contribution is balance 45 lakh rupee. Own contribution is balance 45 lakh rupees. I am likely to take a loan at 7%. I am in 30% slab. So my effective post-tax interest cost on loan is 7 into 70% after tax. 7 into 1 minus the tax rate. 7 into 70%. My own contribution, I was earlier putting my money in a fixed deposit, which was giving me 5%. It was giving me 5%. After tax, 5 into 1 minus 30%. So it was effectively giving me 3.5%. It was effectively giving me 3.5% on the own contribution. I took a weighted average of 4.9 and 3.5 depending on my funding mix. I have a funding mix which I decided 75 lakh of purchase and 45 lakh of own contribution. So I did this and I get to know that my property purchase is basically being funded at the rate of 4.38%. 4.38% is the effective cost on house purchase. 2 more factors. Maintenance cost, I will add it. Appreciation, if it's going to happen, I'll deduct the cost. Depreciation means again another expense. So when you buy a property, you pay interest, you have a cost on your own loan, you have a maintenance cost, and you may have a depreciation or appreciation of property. I'm assuming that property prices will appreciate by 2%. So effective cost of buying a house is 2.58%. The effective cost of owning a house, if you change the yellow shaded items in this, you will get to know what is the net cost of owning a house. If you are buying a house worth 1 crore 20 lakhs, which is what is in this example, effectively you are paying every year. 3 lakh 9,000, 1 crore 20 lakh into 2.58%. Effective payment is that your EMIs can be high, you will have a lot of other items, but effective cost is 2.58%. Effective cost is 2.58%. This will be compared with the post-tax rental. Rental yield. What is rental yield? Is rent divided by value of property. For example, in this case, the value of property is 1 crore 20 lakh. The rent could be 3 lakh rupees. 3 lakh divided by 1 crore 20 lakh is 2.5%. On that, you have to take the tax angle and then calculate the after tax. So our rental cost is coming out to be 2.1%, because basically I am assuming I'll pay a rent of 3 lakh 60 on 1 crore 20 lakh property, which is basically 3%. After tax is 2.1. You compare these two items and then decide whether you want to buy a property or rent a property. In this example, renting property will make more sense because rental cost is only 2.1%. Some other example, if this appreciation was 3%, buying a house will make more sense. You will have to go with certain assumption. Your appreciation, depreciation and all is basically your assumption. You will have to make that assumption and then proceed ahead. You will have to see where are you putting your own money. If there is no major place where you are putting your own money, then effectively this can also turn out to be, if it's in savings account. If this is in savings account, it could be 3 into 1 minus tax rate. So it will be only 2.1%. Your weighted average cost of purchase is only 3.85. Then there is a maintenance, there is appreciation. Effectively, you are paying only 1.05% on your property. It all depends on how are you funding the property and what is the effective cost of those funding sources. Funding sources is whether you are taking a home loan or you are putting your own money. Only two sources, debt and equity. On top of that, you look at maintenance, you look at appreciation or depreciation, and then compare it with rental cost. Also, there is an emotional angle. The emotional angle is a lot of people would like to own a property. They wouldn't want to change change the building often, because if you are in a rented place, you may have to change the building once in 3 years, once in 5 years if the landlord says you. So a lot of people will have some attachment to the property, and because of an emotional angle, you may want to buy the property. So that if you want to own a property because you wanted that comfort or you wanted that security in life, because some people because of security in life want to own a property, then this financial analysis is of no use. Financial analysis is only of use if you are not influencing your decision by emotions. If there is an emotional factor, please go ahead and buy it, because at some point of time some decisions are difficult to explain in terms of money. So in those scenario, it's okay, go ahead and buy the property. So do make this decision. Do make this calculation before even making a decision. Do this calculation. If you are living in a rented house or if you are planning to buy, do this calculation, broad calculation. If there's a small difference in favor of renting, only small difference, it's okay, you ignore that difference and go ahead and buy the property. But if there's a huge difference, if you believe appreciation is not going to happen, if you believe the rental cost is not that high, maybe rental would make a lot of sense. So do consider these factors and then make a decision. I'll end this video. I would also would like to know from you, do comment your feedback and do let us know in case you want us to cover any other topic.